how about a fairy tale fun fact? Today I'm sharing all of the folk and fairy tales that were featured on Reading Rainbow. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, first of all, I feel sad for you.
Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow. I can go anywhere, friends to know and ways to grow, a reading rainbow.
Reading Rainbow was a TV show on PBS for 80s, 90s, and early 00s babies, hosted by LeVar Burton. This guy. And its primary purpose was to encourage a love of reading and books to kids. It was magical! Each episode featured a picture book narrated usually by a celebrity guest.
All kinds of books can be used for storytelling. Now, Abiyoyo is a book you can sing, which makes perfect sense because it was written by a folk singer, Mr. Pete Seeger, who's here with us today. Hi, Pete.
Hi.
Pete, tell us where you got the idea to write the book, Abiyoyo.
Oh, quite unintentional. I was singing a lullaby to my kids about 35 years ago. Once upon a time, there was a little boy who played the ukulele. Around town he'd go. Clink, clunk, 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 clink.
Which would be followed up by LeVar taking the viewers on some field trips that usually tied into the book's themes.
Hello, me lady.
Oh, good greetings, LeVar. I be Mistress Nora, the spinster of the Shire, and this were my fine sheep, Nancy.
Good morrow, Nancy.
I have been told this day that you have come to learn how to spin and weave.
Indeed.
Wondrous well.
This is not easy at all.
But the best part was the end, where they would have 3 kids pitch a book they loved.
Here's some other books that you might like, but you don't have to take my word for it.
Hi, everybody. My name is Cecilia Bobo. Do you have a best friend? If you do, I think you should read the book called Frog and Toad Together. It's about 2 animals and how really good friends they are, and how they share friendship, go on adventures, and teach each other lessons. I think anybody who has a best friend would get a real kick out of this book. I think that you should go to your nearest library and get it right away.
So let's look at the folk and fairy tales that were featured. FYI, the good news is that most of these titles still stand the test of time, but there are a couple that probably wouldn't be recommended these days due to lack of good representation. First off, let's look at the main books that were featured with a celebrity guest. Liang and the Magic Paintbrush by Demi. Paul Bunyan by Stephen Kellogg. The Tortoise and the Hare by Janet Stevens. Abiyoyo by Pete Seeger. The Paper Crane by Molly Bang. Rumpelstiltskin by Paul O. Zielinski. Mufaro's Beautiful Daughters by John L. Steptoe. The Legend of the Indian Paintbrush by Tommy DePaula. And here's a quick look at the folk and fairy tale books that were reviewed by kids at the end of each show. Hans Christian Andersen's The Ugly Duckling, retold and illustrated by Lorinda Bryan Cawley. A Story by Gail E. Haley. Why Mosquitoes Buzz in People's Ears by Verna Ardema. Suho and the White Horse by Yuzo Otsuka. The Legend of the Blue Bonnet by Tommy DePaula. The Dream Eater by Christian Garrison. The Sleeping Beauty, retold and illustrated by Mercer Mayer. Charles Perrault's Puss in Boots, retold and illustrated by Lorinda Bryan Cawley. Who's in Rabbit's House by Verna Ardema. The Magic Wings by Diane Wolkstein. The Mud Pony, a traditional Skitty Pawnee tale by Karen Lee Cohen. The Talking Eggs by Robert D. Sanssouci. 13 Moons on Turtle's Back by Jonathan London and Joseph Bruchek. The Three Bears by Paul Galdone. Town Mouse, Country Mouse by Carol Jones. Did I miss any? If you were a Reading Rainbow fan, what books did the show encourage you to read? And that's your fairy tale fun fact. Like and follow for more.